Good evening, it's Gray Matter. I guess today we're just gonna do this shit raw. No edits, none of that. I really don't feel like putting out enough or putting out a bunch of energy into this video. I'm just gonna talk to you because it's clear that Anita Sarkeesian's lapdogs are in my comment section bashing me. But I mean that's what propaganda does. They repeat the same thing over and over and over again. And eventually people who are weak minded start repeating it. It happened during COVID when y'all were saying that that vaccine was fucking safe and effective and calling me all types of evil for telling people to not take it. It happened during the election year. Y'all was calling Donald Trump a felon, saying that he was in the Epstein files, but you couldn't give any details or prove that he actually did anything nefarious, which I've talked about that shit on my channel too. I even showed you what was in the Epstein files, or at least the parts about Trump. And I even gave links so that you can go and read it for yourself and go study it for yourself. You want to go through the whole 3,000 page, go ahead, do it. Read it. You're not going to find what you want to find, which I even pointed out then. It was like y'all only cared about taking Trump down. Y'all didn't give a fuck about the actual victims or the people who are really in there. We had pictures of Bill Clinton in there with people. All right, victims. Eyes was covered, but he was there in the pool with them. Like we we had all types of celebrities. Nobody said shit about that. Okay, which let me know that you're a bunch of propagandists and tools of propaganda. Then we go into the video games and the movies, and it's the same shit. They're clearly trying to force men out of a hobby that we created, and they're trying to bash us for liking shit that they deem evil and misogynist, because that's what Anita Sarkeesian said. They also started using the games to push gay propaganda as well, on top of the feminist propaganda, which has been a catalyst to the destruction of America and other countries as well, which is why the West is so damn fucked up to begin with. But I'm not allowed to talk about any of that. All you gotta do is go in my comment section. You see evidence of it though. You got some people that actually commented. They liked the video. All right. I have more likes than dislikes, clearly, but a lot of the people who like it were pretty silent. The people who had shit to say were spamming my comments. And I'm gonna be blunt. If you're a grown man talking about misogyny, I immediately write you off. I don't give a damn what else you got to say. I don't. If you want to call me a misogynist and an incel and all that other bullshit, fine. I'll wear the cape. I don't give a shit. I mean what I say, and I say what I mean. It's that simple. It ain't no alpha male shit, nothing. No, it's just how I am. Because I don't sit here and allow dumbasses to dictate what it is that I'm allowed to do. Let's let me show you what I'm talking about when I say that it's nothing but propaganda in the damn gaming industry. Because you have game designers, male and female, in this shit giving lectures like this.
Very similar to what you've seen in The Last of Us, that the cordyceps has jumped from insects to people. And the people it infects, it can kind of create monsters or kill them. But the twist, the thing that was different about this idea was that it only infected women. And you found the one girl that it didn't infect, and that was Ellie. And you kind of protected her and tried to like bring her to this lab where they were kind of finding a cure. And there were a lot of things that we were really excited about this idea, but ultimately it failed. And the reason it failed is because it was a misogynistic idea. What are the things that she's going to be kind of really attracted to and attached to as she grows up? And as a game creator, I look around at kind of what we are making and what are going to be her role models from the stories. And I don't like what I see. More specifically, I'm talking about our female characters. And whether we want to admit it or not, these are role models. And yet we sexualize, we objectify, we marginalize, and we reduce these female characters to a lot less than they can be. And this is coming from a guy that almost made a really misogynistic game.
Bro, clearly you ain't played those fucking games. That's the first thing. Second, how pussy do you have to be afraid of sexy women? How low testosterone do you have to be to have a problem with sexy women? Women that, you know, female characters, excuse me, that women actually like. Shit is pissing me off, bro. But hey, let's hear what she has to say about this because she actually points out the agenda. Because there's a lot of red flags when it comes to not only Laufey, but just damn near every Western game that's coming out at this point. Like it's getting ridiculous. Before I even play this, I wanted to make note. So what prompted me to even talk about this shit was because I found out that people were trying to report Stellar Blade to Visa and MasterCard. So it's like I'm a misogynist because I don't want the main character to a series that's been around for damn near 20 years to get replaced with some woke feminist bullshit. I'm a misogynist for that. But if I say I like Stellar Blade, that's a problem. Which one is it? Either we like women or we hate women. It don't matter if she's sexy or not. She's still a woman. Which goes back to what that previous video I showed you was about. All right. It is a bunch of feminist propaganda. The shit he said is shit Anita Sarkeesian been saying. Luckily, Stellar Blade Blood Rain is not getting banned, but people have tried and they failed. Thankfully, because we don't need to be stuck with this bullshit. Because if they succeeded, Asian developers would have stopped sending their shit over here. Dark Souls, Elden Ring, all that, Sekiro, fucking Ninja Gaiden, Dead or Alive, Tekken, Virtual Fighter. You know, the Stellar Blades, both of them, like they would have stopped sending us games and we would have been stuck with bullshit like Forspoken. Like, get the fuck out of here, bro. I'm not playing that shit.
When God of War Laufey was unveiled a few weeks ago, it instantly caused controversy on social media. There are some people that say that they are super excited to play as a new character and that it's perfectly fine that they've decided to move away from Kratos for a single game. And then there are other people that are saying it is completely ridiculous that you are playing as somebody else besides Kratos. We expect the God of War in the God of War games, but now we have heard even more information about how they wanted as much diversity as possible within these stories, how they want to be able to do right for women in gaming, and this is also a major red flag. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, I am perfectly fine with playing as women in video games, and I think that there are so many amazing female characters in our entertainment, and Faye is not a bad character, but do people really want to move away from Kratos even for a single game? Not really sure. There are some people online who are saying, oh, this is perfectly fine. And of course, the misogynists on the internet are freaking out. But I have a feeling, judging by the 20 minutes that we saw and the, in my opinion, pretty cringeworthy dialogue, and just the fact that I personally feel that intro wasn't that special, that is probably not going to sit well with a lot of gamers. Now, maybe when it comes.
Okay, that's why the quote unquote misogynist was pissed off. All right, let's cut the bullshit. I seen that trailer. Several red flags. Not even talking about what they did to Deborah Ann Wall. They ruined her face. Straight up, she should be suing because of how bad they ruined her face. Because they don't want pretty women in video games. Deborah Ann Wall didn't have to be in a bikini and a fucking onesie and shit. She could have wore regular clothes based on Norse mythology, and they could have kept her regular face. And Faye as a character would have been fine. It wouldn't have been super sexualized. They don't even want the women to look pretty. That's how fucked up this is getting. And that ain't even all the red flags. That's just one of them. Okay, because that exemplifies the give me a second. I'm having brain freeze right now. I'm eating I'm eating ice cream. It's hot as shit right now. But yeah, the agenda. They're showing the agenda through the character that they're designing. So you have that. You have the fact that shit that we wanted Kratos to do, they're giving the Fae. We've been wanting Kratos to fight the Egyptian god of war. We've been wanting Kratos to go to different mythologies. So what they did was they created an afterlife that really doesn't fucking exist, but whatever. An afterlife for these mythological gods. And of course, she runs into the god of war from Egypt and the god of war from Mongolia. And she's, fighting the Mongolian god of war on even footing. I don't know how the hell that's even happening. Before you even come to me like, well, she bested Kratos and matched Thor to a standstill. Bullshit. You're telling me that Faye can stop Atlas from crushing her? You're telling me that Faye has the power to destroy an entire pantheon? She can travel through time. She can defeat fate itself. She can pull herself from death in Hades and climb out and bring herself back to life. Are you going to make Faye do all of that shit in a single game? She's going to beat the Mongolian god of war and the Egyptian god of war in the same game and claim the title? And you expect me to not believe that they're trying to replace Kratos? Get the fuck out of here. She's not a demigod. She's not a god. She's a giant. She's a Jotun. How the fuck is she even there? Why? Because a splinter that was lodged in her hand before she was burned? Before her body was burned when she passed? And keep in mind, they also gave her the old school gameplay back. Not the same camera angles, but you got your double jump back. You got your air combos back. Shit that we would begging they do for Kratos in the 2018 and Ragnarok. They didn't do that for him. They kept him slow as shit. They only allowed him to jump at certain intervals. His combos weren't as fancy, but they gave her the shit. Shit that Kratos had in the Greek games. But they ain't trying to replace him. Get the fuck out of here, bro. Stop it. We know what's going on, and we're being called misogynist just because we point out the fact that they butched Deborah's face. But whatever. Let's continue with this.
Comes out, it will be amazing and it'll be fantastic. And as they show off more of the game, our opinions will change. But as of right now, that definitely did face a lot of backlash. And this new article has released, and this is definitely going to seem like a major red flag for a lot of people. So it says God of War Laufey was planned since 2018, reveals the star Deborah Ann Wool. Now, of course, video games are in development for years and years and years and years before we finally get them. Dragon Age the Veilguard was in development for a decade, and who knows how long they had planned to make it before that, but it seems that they always wanted to have some sort of straying path where it wasn't Kratos.
Is it working now? Bro, did my mic shut off? How long was my mic off? Give me a second. Okay, so after checking my previous video, luckily everything that I said has been preserved. So back to what we was getting at. Nobody wants to play as the other characters. Nobody. I don't want to play as Atreus. Fuck Atreus. I know in the past they wanted to set something up to where you could play as Demos, Kratos' brother, which I would rather that than Atreus and Faye, to be blunt. Because Demos, some theorize he might be the son of Ares. So that actually might be fun to play as. I'm not even gonna lie, but mainly we just want Kratos. Checking my mic again. Mainly I just want Kratos. Okay. Demos looks cool though. And he actually might have been great for a co-op game. I seen some videos where they were talking about having Demos be in God of War 3, and the tragedy was that he was going to be killed by Kratos because he was being used by the gods, and Kratos didn't know who he was. And a fight that they had, he ended up killing him. But they decided to scrap that. But if they kept that, that would have been well in line with the Greek tragedy that is God of War, the original trilogy, or just the original games, because there's more than just 3 of them.
Who you were playing as. And a lot of people assumed that that was going to be Atreus and that that was the character that people were going to have to get used to, which, by the way, would have still been controversial even if he was the character. It doesn't just boil down to gender, it also boils down to the effectiveness of the storytelling, the intrigue, if a character is neat, and well, yeah.
His gameplay was boring as fuck. And I'm gonna be blunt, Atreus is soft as shit. I don't want to play as him. The fuck? It's supposed to be a power fantasy. Ain't no power in the trip. Like, you know what? I'm not about to waste my time roasting Atreus. This video will be way too damn long. I'm not playing Atreus. Fuck out of here.
Yeah, I mean, Laufey is just going to be a low-selling spinoff, I personally believe. Though, Deborah
Low selling spinoff is an understatement. This shit might kill the franchise. She said it herself in earlier in her video. It takes what? Sometimes 10 years to work on the game. You know how much money and resources that is? your game better sell, or else it could destroy your whole studio. Well, I said it already in my comment. I'm here for the layoffs, man. I'm waiting for it. Anytime a studio goes woke, it deserves to get shut down. Y'all wasted resources. Y'all had a blueprint and groundwork to make an amazing Kratos game, and instead you took him, you neutered the character, and then you shifted the focus to his dead second wife. Just being honest here. Y'all could have took the Norse games and put Kratos in a situation to where it was either do or die, life or death. And he was going to be forced once again to have to fight for his family or fight for his redemption. It would have played along well with the Greek tragedy. Y'all didn't do that. I could have had Atreus get kidnapped or something. Never mind. I'm not going to go deep into all this stuff because I seen people in the comments, oh, that would have been played out. That would have got boring. Another Pantheon, that would have been boring. It would have got old. But when Faye is about to do it, it's completely cool, right?
And Wool is now talking about this game and revealing some information. And it's a little bit of a risky statement that she's made, that's for sure. So she said he pitched it to me in 2018, and they had known about it before then. It's wild. Like when Corey brought me in to talk about doing Ragnarok and showing me the 2018 game, he already had a poster for the Laufey game with me and a cube that's been there since the beginning.
So they been plotting bullshit. I'll be right back.
It's deeply part of the lore. So this is clearly a response to people on social media who said this cube looks fucking stupid, and the dialogue with the cube ribbon sword situation is cringeworthy. So she's saying, oh, well, it's perfectly fine because this cube's been there from the start. Maybe that means that from the start, this was always a disaster. The upcoming entry into the Santa Monica Studio series certainly provoked a reaction online, not least thanks to the appearance of the gelatinous cube companion, but its director has tried to ease concerns as she said that she understands skepticism following the reveal, but hopes fans will give it a chance. And I actually don't think that her response was bad. It was basically not every
I hope fans leave this shit to crash and burn like it deserves to. I'm just gonna be honest here.
game's gonna be for everybody.
Like, your money tells them what's good and what's not. Don't buy this shit.
We hope that you're actually going to give it a shot. I think that you're going to like it if you play it. And around this same time, Corey was being a dipshit, and he was talking about how their villains are inspired by villains in the real world, like the billionaires and trillionaires, and he used the press tour for this game as a opportunity to push his politics and virtue signal.
And this the shit I'm talking about, man. We don't need this in a fucking God of War game. And back to the, I'm so sick and tired of these dumbasses. Y'all would have never said shit. Y'all wasn't saying shit about it. And I know this because it was real quiet when Biden stole the election. It was mad quiet. No one said nothing. Gas prices was through the roof, but no one said nothing. 10% inflation. No one said nothing. No one said nothing. When people were freezing to death in their own damn homes because of Biden's push to go green and electricity and shit wasn't working properly in some states. He signed off on that shit. No one said nothing. When the pipeline got shut down and a bunch of jobs was lost because of that, nobody said shit. When we was funding the Ukrainian war which could have pushed us into World War III because Russia could have declared war against us. Nobody said shit. But now that Trump's here, everybody got all types of stuff to say, to the point where you want to put your politics in a God of War game, some shit that ain't had nothing to do with any of that. It was a power fantasy where you go around, well, you used to kill the guys that did you dirty. We don't have that no more. We don't have fun games anymore. All your fucking shit does is try to preach to us. And that's why we don't want to buy this shit. That's why everyone's going to Asia to play their games. Because their shit is just games. You're just having fun. What politics is in Elden Ring? And if there is some, is it at the forefront? Are they preaching to you? Sekiro has a story, but it ain't this shit. It's getting on my fucking nerves, man.
A little bit. Though this right here is the most controversial part of this interview. Of course, some were also disappointed to see Kratos be replaced as the lead character for this God of War chapter, but a new perspective is something Wool is seemingly eager to bring to the mythology. We need as much diversity as possible within these stories.
And there it is. There it is. The DEI bullshit we were just talking about. When I said that this shit was woke, y'all, oh, it's a chub. Wait, let me pull up the comment. Let's pull that comment up. What did he say? Chud getting mad over a female protagonist for no reason. She's canonically beating Kratos in combat, and she's very much deserving of a game. She doesn't deserve shit. Who's the guy that I was talking about or trying to put me in a gotcha moment about the politics? Why the fuck do people like you get mad when there's a woman protagonist in the combat games? Bro, pussy. Oh, what else? Oh, the game isn't even out yet. That shit. I hate that the game isn't even out yet. Shit. I've been said games was shit because of their trailer, and sure enough, those games were shit. Wait, let me I gotta sort this shit. I can't find the comment. Maybe it's good I can't find the comment. Oh yeah, this shit. See women in men video games, evil liberals taking over media. Oh shit. Women been in the gaming industry since the fucking 80s. Women been in games. That shit though wasn't liberalism. Now it's liberalism. We just watched the vid. He was just talking about making a game where the villains in the new God of War are based off Trump and Elon Musk. What other billionaires and trillionaires he's talking about? It ain't Jeff Bezos. Like, fuck
So
out of
that
here.
we can tell even more
Like, that is the definition of liberalism.
stories. This is all just about enjoying each other's perspectives and widening our experiences. If I get to, in some small part, do that for women within gaming, I am very excited about that. Now, look, I am perfectly fine with seeing all different sorts of people represented in entertainment and all different sorts of perspectives, and sure, widening our experiences. But first of all, they could have done this in a completely new game, in a completely new series, and not just banked on the God of War game when really they just wanted this to be the strong, independent woman game. When I hear phrases like, we need
Hey,
really
let's
completely
rewind
new
it.
game and a completely new series, and not just banked on the God of War game when really they just wanted this to be the strong, independent woman game. When I hear phrases like, we need as much diversity as possible, it reminds me of what Mary Kenny had said about like Sweet Baby Inc. and some of the projects that she was working on. We need to pull every lever we have, characters, community support, mechanics, to make it so it's a subject she's clearly passionate about and her insights are thought provoking. She is the one who was a writer on Wolverine. She is now working on Cyberpunk 2. She ran to the defense of Sweet Baby Inc. and said gamers don't know what they're talking about. It's all just a very similar narrative, in my opinion. And sitting here and saying that, oh, you need as much diversity so that you can tell even more stories is kind of wild to me. Because, first of all, a lot of these games where they replace a male character in order to promote a female or a woman to the lead character position, that generally doesn't work out for the studio. So, really, you are telling even less stories than you could have previously because your company isn't making money, your studio's going under, there are these layoffs. And I don't think that all storytelling needs to necessarily be safe, but in a God of War game, people expect to play as Kratos. People want Kratos. All Kratos is going to be in this game is a memory. And
You know what? Let's get a mini game where Faye rubs Kratos' shoulders in a memory. You know, just bring back that old QTE event. Because if Faye goes around banging motherfuckers, all that's gonna prove is she's a whore. I mean, y'all want to replace her so bad. You want her to do everything Kratos did. Kratos fucked bitches. Just saying.
that is an issue. She also says that, oh, if I get to, in some small part, do that for women within gaming, I'm very excited about that. These people can never get their story straight because one day it's almost 50% of gamers are women. It's like 46% is the number that they reference now. And you guys need to accept the fact that half of the gaming industry is women. And okay, but then you can't the next day turn around and say, we need to tell stories with women because there just isn't enough female representation and women don't feel comfortable playing games.
Okay, women don't like your fucking games. I'm just responding to the quote here. Women don't like your fucking games. All right, I watch women on YouTube call Kratos Daddy Kratos, and actually got excited when they saw him ripping heads off and chopping off limbs. They liked that shit because it's fun. And that's the part that these new developers don't understand. Y'all don't know how to make a fun game. It's just that damn simple. Because fun is misogynist.
As men
You fucking bunch of angry ass, lonely, dick starved Karens. Explains why a lot of them ain't married. I'm saying too much. Maybe they are and they just got pussies for husbands that play the background role. Maybe that's what's going on. But I tell you what though, I wouldn't want to be around them.
all the time. So, which is it? Because these two statements conflict with one another. I do personally, right, believe that there are plenty of women in entertainment. There are plenty of female characters who are awesome, who are badass, who are sexy, who are also ugly, who are interesting. And it shouldn't just have to do with gender. I don't play a game just because I see a woman. And if you are only able to connect with a character because of their gender or the color of their skin or their hair color or their sexuality, you're kind of a narcissist because
And
we
there
should
it
be able to
is.
relate to characters or find them interesting because they are strong, they are compassionate, they are interesting, they are unique. Maybe they are growing as characters. They're going on the hero's journey and they start off being really self centered and egotistical, but then they grow to sacrifice themselves
Hey, she's cooking. She's cooking.
and care about the people around
Let her
them.
cook.
And hey, listen, I'm just saying video games, right, used to be much more special than they are now. Now, everything just feels the same. Whether that has to do with the higher ups at companies,
It's just The Last of Us over and over and over and over and over again. That's pretty much what it is. Every fucking new game is a third person over the shoulder, like movie story with a bunch of fucking cutscenes and shit. Like I don't care about that no more, man.
just greenlighting the one type of game that they truly believe is the safe corpo slop option. Maybe that's just because the video game industry is predominantly liberal now, and there is not enough diversity of thought and opinion at these studios.
Exactly. I'm glad she brought it up. Y'all talking so much about diversity, equity, and inclusion, but anything that differs from your opinion, you want to snuff it out. Literally. You want to kill it. Those people, you want to make sure that they don't get no money. And what does that do? It kills you slowly. If you can't eat, you can't live, you can't have your own place, that will kill you slowly. They want to kill any opposing thought, but then got the damn nerve to call us fascists and Nazis. It is what it is, right?
Maybe it is a combination of these things. I personally believe that it's definitely a combination. Maybe we will never get back to the days, right, where developers could just make what they want without going into it instantly thinking, we need to push a narrative with this product and it needs to be a piece of propaganda. I would love that to happen, but is that going to? I'm not necessarily sure.
I at this point, I want the gaming industry to fucking die. We need more Cupheads in fucking Dark Souls like games, Shadow of the Colossus. We need more games like that. That's what we need more of. A lot of what these indie developers are doing, the games that they're making that are actually good, that needs to come to the forefront. These companies, if they die, if they die, they die. That's it. It needs to die. We need to get this shit out of here. Make gaming great again.
Now, the rest of this interview is pretty standard. It isn't really anything special, in my opinion. She says that it's an expansion of the mythology and this expansion of story. This is, we
Expansion of the mythology, right? What Norse mythology, Egyptian mythology, Mongolian, Greek, what mythology you know has a talking cube? What mythology you know where the every wind exists? It's an expansion. My ass, my dick expands.
now
Fuck out of
know what
here.
we're allowed to say, going to run concurrently to 2018. And so all of the mysteries and the little hints and clues, the questions, the lingering, ideas that we have from the Norse saga, we're going to answer a lot of that, or we're going to expand upon it. So she's just saying, yes, if you're a fan of the other games, you're going to be a fan of this one. And maybe it will sell, who knows? But the initial reaction was not super solid. That is for certain. And just taking a quick peek at the responses, they are what you would expect. I had posted this screenshot over on X, and gamers are saying makes sense. Started during peak woke, and now the sunk cost fallacy forces them to keep going. 8 years, nobody got smart enough to go, hey guys, I think this is a really bad idea. I'm sure that there probably were a few of those people and then they ended up getting fired. Wow,
Yeah,
you needed 8 years for this linear game to materialize. Eastern companies or Capcom can do that in 3 to 4 years with lesser budgets, by the way. After the inevitable flop, the key lesson to learn: don't replace Kratos. Their takeaway will sadly be gamers hate women. And yeah, gamers have always
yeah, and that's the problem. Don't replace Kratos is the real lesson. They're gonna say gamers hate
supported the
women.
Tomb Raiders and Lara Crofts. People have supported the Bayonettas, the Pragmatas, the Stellar Blades. You've even had more modern games
Why don't they bring back Heavenly Sword? Why don't they make that better? Give that a remake.
like Horizon Zero Dawn, not so much for Horizon Forbidden West. A lot of people gave up on it by that point. But you had Horizon Zero Dawn, Last of Us 1. The list goes on and on. It's not just gamers hate women, it's gamers hate Mary Sue's, gamers hate lame stories, and gamers hate their favorite characters being replaced. So I'll be
Not just replaced, but murdered brutally by the woke character. Joel, we gonna keep acting like that didn't happen? Or we just blotted it out of our memory because it was just so fucked up. Last of Us 2 was bullshit, bro. The first game had a bunch of woke feminist shit in it. All right. But at least we had Joel. Then they did a bunch of other shit to it.
keeping an eye on what else they have to say about Laufey, but it's looking rough right now. Though that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know
I
your thoughts.
mean, I'm glad women are speaking up about it because when men talk about it, it's just misogyny. But hey, I'm done, man. I'm done talking about this shit.